The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Very good afternoon. Hope you're all doing fine. First of all, thank you so much for joining us on our workshop. Thank you so much for spending your time in registering during your busy schedule because your participation means a lot to us here at ADManager. So we, the AD Solutions team, hope to make sure that this session is going to be valuable and you will gain something out of it. I welcome you all for today's session on ADManager Plus. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anu and I am a senior technician at ADManager Plus and I am your presenter for the day. I hope that my voice is audible and the screen is well and clear. If not, kindly let us know through the chat. So I hope that you all know about this series of ADManager Plus workshop. This is workshop number 2, the second of the 5 workshops that we are conducting this month. One workshop every week Tuesday at the same time. So last week on workshop number 1, we have seen on user provisioning. So we were discussing about how you can create user accounts and then delegate permissions in Exchange or any Office 365 related attributes from a single window without having to use any native tools or say any complex scripts. So this week, like a continuation, we will be focusing on user account modification. So the topic for today is streamline management of Active Directory users, Office 365 licenses, and Exchange mailboxes. So you as an administrator may have to modify the user accounts often, and I'm going to explain how you can do it in an easy way. So having said that, let me quickly share with you the agenda for the day. So say for example, your organization merges with another organization and then you want to ensure uniform naming format across all the user accounts in your organization. And also you want to update the user's primary and secondary SMTP addresses. So in order to do in a native way, either you have to run a PowerShell script or you have to go and edit every account manually. But today I will be telling you how you can do it very easily with the help of ADManager Plus. And then, say for example, you are supposed to decommission a file server in your environment and then you need to move the home folders that reside in those file servers to another location. So I will be telling you how you can do it very easily and very quickly with ADManager Plus. And we will also be seeing on how we can archive Exchange mailboxes and also how you can migrate Exchange mailboxes in bulk. And the next thing is you can identify and free up the licenses of inactive Office 365 users for efficient license management. And then as a last thing is, say for example, you want to change the group membership of the user account whenever their departments are changed. Say for example, your user account has recently got promoted to manager. So he was a technician basically and then he got promoted to a senior technician or a manager. So upon changing his department or say for example, here he has just got shifted from sales department to finance department or from finance department to HR department. So whenever their departments are changed, we need to ensure that the group membership are also changed. Say for example, when he was in finance department, he would have access to certain important or confidential file servers. And then if he's been changed to HR department, then he should not be allowed to make use of those file servers. So in order to do that, you may have to change his group membership. So I will be telling you how you can do it automatically. Okay, so without any further delay, let me take you to the application. So if you have ADManager Plus installed at your end, I would request you to kindly make use of that when I go about the session. Or if you do not have one, you don't have to worry about it. I will be sharing the URL for the test lab that we have set up and hosted online. So kindly look at the chat window for the URL. So the URL for accessing the test lab is admp.cloudapp.net. So kindly look at the chat window for the URL. So I will also be sharing the credentials with you so that you can log in and have an hands-on experience with ADManager Plus. So the username for logging into the application is ADMP and the password is workshop with W capitalized. So kindly log on to ADManager Plus authentication, not the workshop domain. Kindly log in with ADManager Plus authentication. Since this is not a domain authentication, this is going to be a local authentication. So you please make sure that you log on with ADManager Plus authentication. Okay, so I hope that you have all logged in to the application. Let me log in as well. So as you all know that when you log into the application, you will be welcomed with the product dashboard. So this can be a quick overview of the domains that you have configured and some details regarding pertaining to that domain. So today we will be focusing on AD Management tab. So as a first step, in order to perform modification of user accounts, let me quickly create a user account with which I can explain the management operations. So for those who have attended the previous session, you would have known how to create user account. If you have not attended the previous session, let me just give you a quick recap on how to create a single user account. So go to AD Management tab, click User Management, and then click Create Single User. So I'm going to create a single user so that I can use it for this session. Okay. So when you click Create Single User, you can see the console with which you can specify the values for each and every attribute for your user account. So you can choose the template if you have created one. So I have already created a template. I have configured it at my end previously. So I'm going to use my template, Exchange User Template. Okay. So the next thing is once you are done choosing the template, you need to enter the first name, the last name, and all the required attributes for your user account. Say for example, let me just enter the first name as Jade and the last name as Chan. Okay. And then let me just go and set the password for this user account. So I'm just going to type the password for this user account. Whenever you type the password, please make sure that it meets the password complexity that you have set in your domain. Okay, so let me just hit create in order to create this user account. So the first task that we will be looking for today is, okay, so I will be telling you how you can ensure and enforce naming format across the organization. So I'm going to change the naming format of the user's display name to the first letter of the first name dot last name. So say for example, if your user account first name is Jade and the last name is Smith, then it should be j.smith to be the display name of the user account. Okay, let me tell you how to do that. So go to the application. So as you can see here, this user account has been successfully created. So go to AD Management tab and then, so let me just make sure what is the display name of this user account. Click Modify Single User. So in AD Management tab under User Management, just click Modify Single User. So this Modify Single User will list all the user accounts present in your domain. And if you want to make any changes pertaining to a user account, you just have to search for your user account and then click the user account so that you can view all the attributes of this user account. So you can see here the display name for this user account is Chan. So I need to apply the naming format and then change this user account's display name as J.Chan. So how to do that? Let me tell you how. So go to AD Management tab, and then there you can see various user modification options under user management category. And also if you want to perform any operations, any management related operations to any object in your domain, say for example you want to create group or modify group or create computers, modify computers or contact objects, you can do all that with the help of AD Management tab in AD Manager Plus. So now I'm going to change the naming format for my display name. So under user management, you can see an option naming attributes. Just click naming attributes. So here you need to choose the naming format. So I need to change the display name format for my user account. So by default, you can see that there are several naming formats offered by ADManager Plus, and besides that, if you want to create any your own naming format, then you can very well go ahead and create a naming format for your organization. So let me just tell you how you can create a naming format. So as you can see here, there is an option to create your own format. You can see a link here, create your own format. So when you click this link, this will take you to the admin tab where you can create your customized naming format for your organization. So under admin tab, under naming format options, just click add new format. Say for example, you want to create a naming format with the format first letter of last name plus first name. So first you need to choose the last name option. Choose the last name and then choose first character and then add it, and then choose first name and then add it. So once you're done choosing the format value, just hit save to save this naming format. I have already created my naming format of the format first letter of the first name dot last name. Okay, let me go back to AD Management tab and then click User Management and then click Naming Attributes. So select the format to be first name initial plus last name. Let me just quickly select the format. So my naming format is first letter of first name dot last name. So this is the naming format that I'm going to apply for my user account. So there are two ways with which you can choose the user account that you are going to modify. So one thing is you can use a CSV file, or otherwise you can simply enter the name of the user account and then search for it. So my user account is Jane. So just type the name and then click search. So my user account will be displayed here. So this will search for all the user account that has the name Jade. Okay, so you can see my user here. So the display name for this user account is Jade Chan. Select this user account and then hit apply. Okay, so once it is done, you can see the status for this operation, whether it has been successfully modified or not. Okay, so you can see here the status of this operation, whether the display name for this user account has been modified or not. Okay, so the display name for this user account is the first two letters of the first name and then the last name. So let me just go and verify the naming format for this option. For this naming format, first letter of first name plus last name. So let me go to admin tab and then choose naming format. So let me just go and edit my naming format. So this is my naming format. So just you can see here the naming format is the first name with first two letters and then the last name. Okay, so let me go to AD Management tab and then let me proceed with the next task for today. Okay, so the next task for today is to move the user's home folder while decommissioning file servers. So let me just go and verify the home folder for my user account. So go to AD Management tab, click User Management, and then click Modify Single User. Okay, so you just have to search for your user account. So my user account is Jade. Just click this account so that you can view all the attributes of this user account. So I need to verify whether there's any home folder set for this user account. Go to Account tab and then just check the home folder attribute for this user account. As you can see, there is a home folder attribute set for this user account, which is under Workshop Share, and the home folder name is Jade Chan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this home folder to the location under Workshop Share in Move. Okay, for which you need to go to AD Management tab and then under User Management you need to choose the option Move or Delete Home Folders. Just click Move or Delete Home Folders. Okay, so I'm going to move the home folder to the location ADMP-DC1/workshop share/move. So you can also decide whether you are going to retain a copy in the original location or you're just going to delete that copy in that original location. And then I need to choose the user account. So let me just give or import the CSV file for this operation, for which you need to create a CSV file. Open your notepad and then type SAM account name. So this is the LDAP header for logon name, so by which you can identify every account uniquely. So SAM account name is the unique holder for every account, so that you can identify each and every account uniquely. So the SAM account name for my user account is Jade Chan. So save this CSV file once you're done entering the name and then import the CSV file. Click CSV import and then click choose file and then choose the CSV file. Okay, so let me choose my CSV file and then hit go. So when you hit go, the user account that you have specified in this CSV file will be displayed here. Suppose that you want to give n number of user accounts. So you just have to enter the SAM account name one after the other. Say for example, JTest. So this is how you need to enter multiple user account name so that you can modify n number of user accounts at one step. Okay. So select this user account and then hit apply. So when you hit apply, you can see that this user account will be moved to that location you have specified here. Let me just quickly verify whether home folder attribute has been updated or not. So for which you need to go to AD Management tab and then just select this option Modify Single User. And then you need to pick the user account, pick your user account on which you have made the changes. So my user account is Jade. Just select this user account. So where you can see all the attributes for your user account. Click Accounts tab and then just verify the home folder attribute. So as you can see here, this home folder has been moved to Move folder. So under Move folder, you can find the home folder for this user account. Not only this attribute is changed, the home folder, all the data inside that home folder will be moved to the location that you specify here. Okay, so this is how you can move the home folders for your user account. Okay, so let me quickly move to the next task for today. So the next task for today is, so you need to ensure that you update the primary and secondary SMTP addresses for your user account. So let me just show you the current SMTP address for this user account. So when you click this user account, you can see all the attributes for your user account. Just go to Exchange tab, click Exchange tab, so that you can see all exchange related properties for this user account. So as you can see here, the primary SMTP address for this user account is jadechan@workshop.admanagerplus.com. So I need to modify this user account's email address. Okay, so how do I do that? Let me tell you how. Go to AD Management tab and then choose the option Modify SMTP Address under User Management category. So click Modify SMTP Address and then choose whether you are going to modify Mailbox Enabled User or Mail Enabled User. So I'm going to modify a Mail Enabled User and then specify your proxy address, your SMTP address. Click Add button and then so I need to specify the SMTP, the primary SMTP address as last name dot first name at workshop.com and the secondary SMTP address as first name at workshop.com. Okay, so the primary SMTP address is last name dot first name. So this is nothing but the LDAP header, the naming format for the last name, and given name is nothing but the LDAP header for first name. So when SMTP is all in uppercase, then this means that this is going to be the primary SMTP address. Okay, so why do I mention it as SN and given name? So say for example, you are modifying the SMTP address for n number of user accounts, say 10 user accounts or 20 user accounts. So you just cannot go and enter the value for every user account. Say for example, you cannot enter jade.chan here. Instead, you need to specify a generalized format for every account. And that's why I have entered %sn % given name %, so that this %sn % will be replaced with the last name of every user account, and then this given name % will be replaced with the first name of every user account. Okay, so this is going to be the primary SMTP address for my user account. And then if you want to add more email addresses, just click Add More Formats. So this SMTP, when it is in lowercase, this means that this is going to be the secondary SMTP address. So I'm going to make the secondary SMTP address to be first name, which is the given name, at workshop.com and then click OK. So let me just quickly import my CSV file. Click CSV import and then choose the file, select your file and then hit go. Okay, so just select your user account and then hit apply. So when you hit apply, the SMTP address, the email address for your user account will be modified. Okay, so let me just go and verify whether this changes has been updated for the user account. Go to AD Management tab, and then click Modify Single User. Let me just go and search for my user account. So my user account is Jane. Just click this user account, which will display all the attribute values for this user account. Go to Exchange tab and then just verify the additional email addresses. So as you can see here, the primary SMTP address for this user account has been modified to lastname.firstname@workshop.com, and the secondary SMTP address has been added as jade@workshop.com. Besides, the one that we have given initially, that has also been appended as the secondary SMTP address for this user account, jadechan@workshop.admanagerplus.com. So this is how you can modify the email addresses for your user account. Okay, so let me just quickly go to the next task for today. So the next task for today is, let me show you how you can archive Exchange mailboxes of disabled Active Directory user accounts. So in order to find the disabled Active Directory user accounts, just go to the application, click AD reports. So AD reports is nothing but it will give you the detailed information of Active Directory objects. Say for example, you want to find exact value for certain attributes for your user account, then you can choose AD reports, Active Directory reports. So you can just generate a report with any perspective. Say for example, you can generate the disabled users account or inactive user accounts. So a detailed session on Active Directory reports will be on the forthcoming workshops. So I would request you to attend that workshop, which will be very helpful for you when you want to generate reports and then verify your accounts. So now I need to find the disabled users in my environment, for which I need to go to AD reports, and then choose user reports, and then click disabled users. So this will list all the disabled users present in your domain. Okay, so here you need to choose the domain. I have just one domain configured in this ADManager Plus. You can choose the domain if you have multiple domains configured in ADManager Plus, and then you can choose the organizational unit as well. So when you click this Add OUs link, so this will display all the container and the organizational unit present in your organization. So you can very well pick up the organizational units that from which you need to find the disabled users. Say for example, you want to find the disabled users who are in Employees Middle East. Then you can very well select this OU and then hit OK. But for now, I'm just going to generate a report for the entire domain. Okay, just hit generate. So when you hit generate, this will give you all the disabled users from your environment. So now you can see there are 57 disabled users present in this domain. So if you want to make use of this report in modification, so in modification in general, you can make use of CSV file. So you can just export this report in a CSV file. So there you can see on the right side of the screen an option to export this report. So when you click CSV, this report will be exported in CSV format. So you can very well make use of that CSV file to perform all your operations. But for now, I'm going to archive mailbox for my user account. Let me go to AD Management tab, and then let me choose the option Archive Mailbox. Create or archive user mailbox that you can see under User Management category. Click Create or Archive User Mailbox. Okay, So here you can either create your user mailbox or you can enable enable archive mailbox for your user account. Choose the mail alias name. It can be any format, and then choose the server, and then choose your mailbox database. Select the option enable archive mailbox. So and then import the CSV file. Okay, let me just import the CSV file and hit go. So my user account will be displayed here. I just need to choose this user account and then hit apply. So this means that I'm going to enable archive mailbox for this user account. Okay, so this is how you can archive users mailbox. There are many more options that you can perform with ADManager Plus. Say for example, you have recently migrated to Exchange 2016. You have recently upgraded your Exchange server to Exchange 2016, and then now you want to migrate all your user accounts to your mailbox under Exchange 2016 server. So how to do that? Let me tell you how. So you don't have to create any partial script. You don't have to go and migrate each and every mailbox. You just have to have a few clicks so that you can migrate all your user accounts, all your mailboxes all at one step. So under AD Management tab, under User Management category, you can find an option to migrate mailbox. Just click Migrate Mailbox. So when you click Migrate Mailbox, so you can see an option to choose the target Exchange server. I have just only one Exchange server configured in this setup, but if you have multiple Exchange servers, then those servers will be displayed here, and then you can pick the one you want to migrate your mailboxes to. And then you can choose the target mail database. So I have only one mailbox database here. So if you have some, then that will be displayed here. Then you can very well select the mailbox database. Okay, so once you're done choosing your target server and then your target database, you can just click and import your CSV file. Click go. So now you need to choose this user account and then hit apply. So when you hit apply, the operation takes place and then you can see the status for this operation, whether it has been successfully updated or it has encountered any error or not. So you can see the status here now, that is the mailbox Jade Chan is already in the target database. So which means it is already in target database and this operation is not fully successful. So this is how you can get to know the status of this operation, and if you happen to see any error, then you can debug very easily with the information provided here. Okay. So besides this, say for example, your organization has encountered a brute force attack and you want to change the password. You want to reset the password for all the user account in your organization. So how to do that? So you don't have to create any partial script or any VB script, or you don't have to go and reset password for each and every user account. You just set the password, just give the password for all user account and then import your CSV file and then hit go. Okay, let me tell you how you can reset password for all the user account in your organization. Just go to AD Management tab and then click User Management and then click Reset Password. So once you click Reset Password, as you know that there are 4 ways with which you can set password for your user account using ADManager Plus. The first thing is you can either generate a random password, so which will be, you will have to configure it on previously. So for those who have attended the previous session, you would have known how to configure the password complexity. Or if you want to type a password, You just have to type the password here. So I'm going to follow this usual way of setting the password. Please make sure that this password meets the password complexity that you have configured in your domain. Or you can just simply choose the password to be same as user logon name, or you can simply leave the password blank. You can also select whether the user must change the password at next logon, or the user cannot change password, or the password never expires. So you can choose all these password options as well. So you may be wondering what these options are. So this is nothing but the option that you can see under account tab under account options. So these three are the options that you see here. So you don't have to get confused with what these options are. So once you are done setting the password, the next step is you need to set this password for all the user accounts in your organization. So if you want to display all the user account, just don't enter any word. Just hit search with the blank. So leave this text box to be blank and then hit search. So this will display all the user accounts present in your domain. Okay, so if you want to set or reset the password for all the user accounts, say for example there are 106 user account in this domain and you want to reset the password for all these user account, just click check all button. So when you click this check all, just click OK so that it will select all the user accounts. Okay, but now I'm not going to reset password for all the user account. So let me clear it and then let me choose only few of the user accounts and then hit apply. So when you hit apply, the password for these user accounts will be reset. Okay, so on last week we were looking on how you can provision user accounts. So this week I will be telling you how you can deprovision user accounts. So deprovisioning user accounts may follow several steps. Say for example, you won't straight away delete a user account when you deprovision any user account. The first thing is you may disable the user account and then you may change their group properties and then you may move that user account to another organizational unit and then finally you may delete that particular user account. So let me tell you how you can do all this process with the help of ADManager Plus. So click AD Management tab. So the first step is I'm going to disable the user account. So click Enable Disable Users option. So under AD Management tab, under User Management category, you can see an option Enable Disable Users. Okay, so now I'm going to choose the option as Disable. So if you want to set the account expiry option, you can choose that as well, whether you can decide the account never expires or it should end at the time at the specified date. Okay, so I'm not going to set it right now. So I'm just going to disable the user account. So I'm going to disable my user account. So click CSV import, choose the file, click modify user.csv and then hit go. Okay, just choose this user account and then hit apply. So when you disable the user account and then you want to change the group attributes as soon as you disable this user account. So how to do that? So once you're done disabling this user account, you can just click this button more actions and then choose the option general attributes and then choose group attributes. So now as soon as I disable this user account, I'm going to change the group attributes for this user account. Just hit go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all the group memberships, but Okay, so just select this option, clear all group memberships. If you want to add this user account to any group, so you just have to click this plus icon near add to group. So when you click this plus icon, this will display all the groups present in your domain. Say for example, you want to put this user in any specific group, say basic group 1, you can just simply select this group and then hit OK. So as of now, I'm not going to choose or I'm not going to add this user to any group. I'm just going to clear away the group membership permissions. Okay, so select this user account and then hit apply. So this will clear all the group membership attribute for this user account other than the primary group. So the primary group will remain the same for this user account. If it is part of any other group, then those groups will be removed for this user account. Okay, so once you're done changing the group attributes, and then later on you want to move this user account to another OU, then how do I do that? Go to ADManagement tab and then choose the option Move Users. So under User Management, you can see the option Move Users. So click Move Users. So this is very helpful when you want to move the user accounts in bulk to another OU. So just click this click this plus icon near the select container. Just click this icon so that it will display all the organizational units and the container present in your organization. Say for example, I want to move that particular user account to Employees Middle East. So select the OU and then click OK. So as the next thing is, I'm going to choose my CSV file and then hit go. Okay, so select this user and then hit apply. So this will move this user account to the OU Employees Middle East. Okay. So as a last thing is you will be deleting this user account. So how do I delete the user account? So go to ADManagement tab and then choose delete users. So delete users you can find under user management. So click delete users and then import the CSV file and then hit go. So if you want to delete this user account, so you can just select this user account and then hit apply. So when you hit apply, this user account will be deleted. Okay. So suppose that you have accidentally deleted your user account. Either you have deleted the user account using ADManager Plus or you have deleted your user account with your Active Directory users in computer. That is, you have deleted your user account in your Active Directory. So how do I restore the deleted user accounts back? So let me tell you how. Go to ADManagement. So ADManager Plus provides you a way to restore the deleted user objects. So under user management, you can see an option to restore deleted users. Click restore deleted users. So as you can see here, this feature, okay, so this recycle bin is not enabled for this domain. So which means this domain workshop.admanagerplus.com contains the domain controller either that is Windows Server 2008 or below. So when the domain controller has the operating system as Windows Server 2008 or below, then you can only restore the mandatory attributes. Or if your domain controller is Windows Server 2008 or 2 and above, then you can restore all the attributes of your user account. Okay, so let me just click CSV import and then choose my CSV file and then hit go. So this will only restore the mandatory attributes from this user account. So this is how you can restore user account from your recycle bin. Okay. So having said that, let me just tell you the next task for today. Okay. So you can also see that if you happen to encounter any error, so this says that the access is denied for this user account. So which means that the credential that you give under domain settings, so whenever you happen to configure the domain in ADManager Plus, so you will be clicking domain settings in order to configure the domain in ADManager Plus, and the credentials that you give here, the username and the password that you give here, that particular account does not have permission to to restore these user accounts, deleted user objects. And that's why you were happen to get that error, access is denied. Okay, so let me just go to the next task for today. So I'm just going to tell you how you can identify and free up the licenses of inactive Office 365 users for efficient license management. The first step is you need to identify the inactive users. So go to the product, go to AD reports. So this is where you can identify the inactive users. So you can see an option Office 365 reports. So when you go to Office 365 reports, so you can generate the report pertaining to your Office 365 environment. So this will be very specific to your Office 365 environment. So click inactive users. So when you click inactive users, you need to choose the account for your Office 365, and then you can choose the date, whether it is last 30 days or last 60 days that the user account is inactive for, or you can even type the custom period. So let me just select last 30 days and then hit generate. So if there are any inactive users if there are any users who are inactive for last 30 days, then that will be displayed here. But since you can see here, there are no users that are inactive for last 30 days. So if you happen to get any inactive users, you can very well select them as well. So once you are done choosing your users, go to AD Management tab and then click Office 365 Management. So till now we have seen on user management the various operations, the various management operations that you can do under user management. Now we are going to look Office 365 Management. Okay, so click Assign or Remove Licenses. So here you can choose your Office 365 account, and then you can decide what operation you are going to perform here. Click Configure Licenses and then choose the operation. So it can be add a license, or you can replace a license, or you can remove selected licenses, or you can simply remove all licenses. So choose the option that you want to perform here. Click Remove All License and then choose the user account. You can also import a CSV file. So once you are done choosing your user account, just hit apply. So this is how you can manage the licenses in your Office 365 environment. So let me come to the last task for today. So this will be really helpful whenever you perform any management operations and that you want to trigger some other operation. Say for example, as I said earlier, you want to change the department for a user account. A user account has been moved from finance department to sales department, so that you will be changing his department from finance to sales. But when he was in finance department, he would have access to certain confidential file service. But once he has been moved to another department, he should be revoked from those group permissions. So permissions may be vested with group membership attribute. So now I'm going to make a template that will contain a modification rule which specifies that whenever the department is changed to sales, then his group membership, the member of attribute, will also be changed. Okay, so let me go to the product. Let me click AD Management tab. So if you have attended the previous session, you would have known what a template is. So template is basically where we store the default value for certain attributes. Say for example, you want to specify the department as sales whenever you create user account for sales department, so that you can just click that template, choose that template. You need not go and select department for every user account. So template is just a one-time process, and then you can make use of it n number of times. So now I'm going to create template for user modification operation. So go to user management and then click user modification templates. So now I'm going to create a new template. So there are several templates provided by default by ADManager Plus. So if you want to copy any template or delete a template or to make a template a default template, so you have the option for that as well. So just move your mouse over to the template that you want to edit or you want to copy. Say for example, you want to copy this template, just click copy and then you can just name this template. Okay, or if you want to delete this template, you can just click delete template. Or if you want to make this template a default one whenever you modify any user account, then you can do that as well. So now I'm going to create a new template. So you can see a link, create new template at the right side of the screen. Click create new template. And then, so now I'm going to specify that whenever the department is changed, then the group membership attribute should also be changed. Okay, so just click modification rules that you can see on the right side of the screen. Click the modification rules and then click create new rule. So now the condition is whenever the department is sales. So choose the field as department. So whenever this department is sales, so choose sales and then the group membership member of should be changed. So click this pencil icon so that it will display all the groups present in your domain and then choose the group, say for example sales Middle East and IT admin and then hit OK. So click add. And also if you want to change the description, say for example when the department is sales, then the description should also be changed to say sales department, then hit add. So in the similar way you can add n number of rules and you can give n number of conditions and also you can set n number of assign values. Okay, so once you're done customizing this template, so make sure that you give a proper name for this template. Let me say it is a sales department template and then hit save template. Okay, so the next thing is I need to modify my user account. Go to AD Management tab. As you all know that in order to make any modification for a single user, you just have to pick modify single user from user management category. So click modify single user and then pick the user. So let me just pick some user from this list. So let's say I'm going to click David Carter. So let me just go and verify the department for this user account, for which you need to go to Contact tab where you can find the department field for this user account. So the department is not set for this user account. Let me also verify the member of attribute for this user account. So this user account belongs only to the domain users group. So now let me choose the template, sales department template, and then click OK. So now the next thing is I need to change the department for this user account. Go to Contact tab. So Contact tab is where you can find the department field by default, and then choose the department as sales. So when you click the department as sales, just go and verify whether the member of attribute has been updated or not. So go back to Account tab. There you can see the member of value for this user account has been changed to domain users besides IT admin and sales Middle East. And also we have set the description as sales department for this user account. So if you want to have a preview of what are all the changes that will be made for this user account, just click this preview button. So when you click this preview button, you can see what are all the changes will be done on this user account. So we have changed the department to sales, and then we have modified the member of attribute, and also we have changed the description for this user account. Just hit update user to make these changes to be updated in Active Directory. Okay, so as you can see that these changes has been successfully done. So now we have come to the end of the session. Let me just quickly give you a recap on what we have seen today. So we focused mainly on user account modification. So how you can modify user account in bulk. Say for example, you want to unlock the user account, or say for example, you have shift employees in your environment and then you want to change the logon hours such that they cannot log into their PCs or their workstations after their shift hours. So you can do that as well. So you can see an option log on hours under AD management tab. So just click log on hours. So here you can specify the log on timings. Say for example, you just do not want the user account to log in after their shift hours. So then you can just specify here. If it is grayed out, then this means that the logon permission is denied for this user account, or if it is in green, then it means that the logon hour is allowed for this user account. So in the similar way, you can perform any management operations, any modification action for your user accounts, whether it is related to terminal properties or it is in exchange properties. Say for example, you can set storage limits or you can set delivery restrictions. Say for example, you want your mailbox to receive messages only from a certain user account, or only if you want the mailbox to send mails to a specific user account. So you can set all those using delivery restrictions. You can also set the exchange policies, the sharing policies, the retention policies, and all that here under bulk user modification. So this is all for today. So we have seen how you can modify user accounts in bulk with ADManager Plus. So next week on workshop number 3, we will be focusing on Active Directory delegation and workflow. So in Active Directory delegation, we will be seeing on how you can delegate tasks for your IT technician or your HR or your help desk. And also, if you want to set a standardized structure for your organization, say for example, you do not want your HR people to create user accounts straight away in Active Directory. Either you just want them to raise a request for creating a user account, and then you as an administrator may want to approve and then execute that request for creating the user account. So we will be discussing all this in the next section, which will take place on next Tuesday at the same time. I hope that you all would attend that session as well. So thank you so much for your participation today. So after the end of the session, you will be sent a survey form which will just take up to 2 minutes to fill it. So I request you to kindly fill the survey form so that we can know your feedback and then we can improve at our end. Okay, so after the session is over, we'll be answering your questions for about 10 minutes. So if you have any queries, kindly let us know through the chat or contact us at support@admanagerplus.com. So thank you so much and have a good day.